Friends, we're back on this final 30th day of April 2023. Virtual Strangers 185 is live. I, of course, am your host, Wes. With me, as always, is my good friend Ruinsmagus. Johnny 5 is alive. I don't know where that came from. I started rhyming the episode title out, and then Johnny 5 popped in my head all of a sudden.
You were just thinking about Short Circuit, but who isn't thinking about Short Circuit? I'm hoping for a sequel. Actually, as far as I know, Wes, there might be 7 of them. I don't know. That's how far I follow Hollywood anymore. Pretty sure they stopped at 2 though. But
I thought they did 3. Maybe they did do 2.
Maybe they did do 3. I don't know.
But you know, the rage of the day here in 2023 isn't doing sequels; it's doing remakes. So they could like remake Short Circuit. Only Johnny 5 is programmed with like Chat GPT,
and then it'd be a horror movie, dude.
Right? Exactly.
Mix the Terminator with it. That'd be cool. Actually, that's a good premise. Don't steal Wes's idea there, right?
I could see the barren nuclear wasteland with Johnny 5s just rolling across with rifles.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, that technology is, people act like it's no big deal, but it could get out of control and probably will. But
for sure.
It's gonna be
it will.
It's gonna be a crazy ride. So, I just say enjoy it. It's so far outside the scope of what I can control. So I like to just I guess really what I do in real life is look at it as a somebody just watching it. I'm just a spectator, Wes, in that respect. So
just enjoy the ride, man. Well, at least we're about to get the AI in the games are not going to be as dumb now.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
It comes out after the game because you kick its ass. It's pissed.
Well, that's a good thing because good thing to mention right now because I've been wondering when all this Chat GPT and all of these different general AI. When is this stuff going to start making its way into our games? And I read an article as I was putting the show notes today, Roots. It already is. And I'll give you one guess. If you had to guess where the first place that AI might pop up in our little bubble here in terms of in-game AI, where would you guess it would be at?
I don't know. I was thinking some kind of prawn, but I don't know. That's not a game, so I don't know.
Skyrim VR mod.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's true. I guess everything's got to be about Skyrim, right?
Yeah, that's right. Skyrim VR mod. There's somebody working on a mod that implements Chat GPT and so that you can have natural conversations with the NPCs in the game.
That's creepy to me. I mean, it's cool, but it's also kind of creepy. But teach their own. I'm a little scared, Wes. I've thought about going on there and having a little chat with this Chat GPT, but. It
never forgets, Roots.
Well, that's the thing. What scared me is the way it talked about Brad, like they were like friends and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm like a Kevin Bacon degree away from Brad, right? So and just because of the CruCast, I just don't want ChatGPT to know who I am, and so it's a little scary.
Yeah. You go into Sony and you set up your social profiles on your PlayStation. It asks you, who do you want to share your information with? And, it has like different you can customize it down to the rule, or you can pick general categories, which I typically will pick friends of friends can see me and what I'm doing. So not just my friends, but the friends of friends. So if the Chat GPT is talking about Brad, like he's some friend and somebody on a first name basis, then we're in that friends of friends group with Chat GPT, Roots, and that's a little scary.
I could be creepily watching what we're playing. I don't like that.
Brad threw a rave this weekend. Did you know that?
I did not, man. I missed it. Damn it. I don't have trackers though for my elbows and my knees, my feet, do little dancing moves and stuff. So I don't know if I'd fit in the rave as much.
I was going to go. I RSVP'd for it, and I didn't remember at the time that I did that it was on my my wedding anniversary. So I was literally on the road when Brad tagged everyone and said, "Hey, it's time to go to the rave," and I'm like literally on my way up the road to get dinner and stuff. And so it didn't work out. The timing didn't work out, but I wanted to be there for what it's worth. I was there in spirit.
Yeah, well, that's all that matters, right? As long as you're there in spirit, you're good to go, I think.
Awesome Tatum says Chat GPT equals HAL 2000.
Yeah. I just
I'm
don't
so
know what it equals. I just don't know that it's good. I think right now it's benign. It's no big deal what it turns into over time. I mean, they're already talking about the next level, Wes, and it's only been out. This one's only been out how long? I don't know, not long.
Yeah, that sounds scary, man. Could you imagine going in to cancel your mug club or something, and then the computer says, "I'm sorry, Roots, but I can't allow you to do that."
Like, no, please, I need to cancel. Yeah.
Anyway, you know, not all of the news was so scary this week, as we found out today. Also, that one of my favorite series of all time, one of the few things on Netflix that's actually worth watching that's not stand-up comedy, Black Mirror, getting a new season. Season 6, Roots of Black Mirror, coming up from Netflix. Did you ever watch the original Black Mirror?
I did not. Always heard everybody talk about how it was like Twilight Zone-ish, but like creepy and stuff. I saw some examples, like there was one episode that was kind of eerily like social credit score or whatever, which this is way before it was even a thing, right? Almost like it's predictive programming, but I don't know.
Can't recommend it enough. It's so
Really?
great, and it's the Twilight Zone of our generation, and it deals with a lot of different kind of dystopian topics, and a lot of it is technology based. I mean, there are some VR stuff in there. There's some social credit score type, tech technocracy utopia type stuff, or dystopia, I should say. They're all very scary for different ways. A lot of them psychological thriller type things, but they're all self-contained, all within an hour, and just very, very, very well done. So I am beyond pumped to learn that the 6th season is finally coming. They do have some awesome talent
Hmm.
signed on to do this season, and I forget exactly who that was, but let me
It
bring the
looks like
article up.
Jesse from Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's right. Aaron Paul,
Yes.
Josh Hartnett, also Kate Mara. Again, just bangers, and this isn't anything new for them. They typically do bring on some world class talent whenever they do a season, so this will just be no different.
Is this something that I'm gonna need to watch the first 6 seasons or
No,
five
they're all
seasons?
self-contained.
Okay.
You should. You absolutely should binge
Really?
the whole thing. But no, it's not. Every episode is a self-contained story, just like Twilight Zone. So you don't need to see any of it.
Scott Jessico says Black Mirror is so good and it's from the UK, so great to see you guys get to see it. Yeah, it's like Doctor Who, right?
Yeah. Well,
Or is this one?
I
And
can't
this
really.
is actually good. Sorry, not to diss Doctor Who. I just was not. I'm not a big Doctor Who fan, but I didn't grow up with it, so
Yeah, well, that's me. That's me. I'm vaguely familiar with Doctor Who. I remember it
a
from my
phone booth
childhood,
or
but I
something. I
never
don't
watched it.
know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's me. It's like, yeah, there's a phone booth, kind of Bill and Ted esque,
There's
a
like
little
somebody
bit
that just
to that.
broke their monitor. I think they're like, "You son of a bitch." I used to like that guy.
Luke Rogie says, if you only watch one, watch San Junipero episode. That's a good one. That is a really good one. I also like the one where the guy goes in to be a playtester at this like video game company that's very clearly supposed to be Kojima Productions, although they couldn't call it that. That was pretty awesome.
Mm.
Striking Vipers. I don't know. I don't know if that's the one to start with, Zach Wilders. Striking Vipers might be the last one that you want to watch.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's another video game episode, Striking Vipers, but it's a very different one.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's another one. I don't know the episode titles. There's one that takes place in this kind of like a sideshow attraction house. Like, you ever stop off at one of these like Ripley's Believe It or Not places, and it has this little tour you can walk through and see this, that, and the other thing. There's a place like that, but all the stuff in the museum is like torture
Oh
devices and
God.
all this sorts of, and it's all technology. It's not like the Iron Maiden and stuff like that. It's all like technological stuff from over the years, and each little item has its own story that the host kind of goes through, and then at the end they tie it all together brilliantly. That's another great episode.
Yeah, well, that sounds good. The dancer in
Yeah,
series 3 is so good. Decepticon says.
yeah. Yeah, man, I could say we could do a whole episode on Black Mirror. We really could, and maybe we will after Roots watches it. Maybe we'll just take a Wednesday one night and just talk about Black Mirror.
Yeah. Maybe I'll watch it in VR. Well, 3D. Can I watch it in 3D?
There you go. There you go. You might, maybe sooner or later. Like I know Netflix was playing around with some kind of like VR 3D stuff there for a while. I don't know if it ever got released to the public or not, but I know that was a thing at one point. But you're right. This is a VR show, so we need to talk about VR. So why don't we talk a little bit about PSVR 2 Roots, because the soft launch at least seems like it's nearly over. Looks like PSVR 2 is going to be within stores within 2 weeks, which
Oh,
is pretty big news. Not only because of what it's going to mean for sales of the headset, but you got to think there's going to be a marketing push for this thing now that it's actually making its way to retailers.
I hope so. If there's not, then we really are entered in the twilight zone or something. Because in a world where you want to sell headsets, marketing is really good, especially if you have games that you're marketing. Which, I expect that they're going to have some new announcements. I hope. I would say give Radio Runt a reason to be happy about his PSVR 2, but I think No Man's Sky has done that for him, and hopefully, eventually, the Demio bug that I don't seem to ever see, but he always bitches
Right.
about. So I don't know.
There are some bugs. I mean, we can't pretend there's not. The reprojection bug, which by the way I do believe to be a bug. I don't think I think Sony's going to get that shit in line over time, but only time will tell. There are some bugs. There's the resolution bug that certain games are having, like a Switchback, and Switchback wasn't the only one. There was 2 or 3 other games that were experiencing the exact same thing. Um, so yeah, it's going to get better over time. But I do expect things to pick up in a big way now. Sony sharing the news that they've had one of their most successful quarters ever selling consoles. They're now reaching or are about to reach 40 million PlayStation 5s in homes, which is huge. Um, and when you start to talk about those kind of numbers, it's 40 million. Now you've got a base that you can build upon to sell peripherals like PlayStation VR 2. So it kind of makes sense that they wanted to wait a little while and let people get their consoles in their hands first, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it's been out a little bit. There's a good amount of games on top of everything else, and so now they can do the big push. They kind of get like 2 releases, right? One to the already existing PSVR crowd, and then the rest of the world gets theirs soon. So
Yeah, absolutely. And they said that they expect that this fiscal year will be their most console sales ever in a single year. That's what they're projecting.
but
So
that's
that
that's
again,
not what
that's
the
huge.
articles have been saying. They said that the PlayStation VR 2 was struggling, and right, isn't that what they said?
Oh yeah, well of course we know Bloomberg is infallible, and they never say anything that doesn't turn out to be true about PlayStation, especially.
Right.
Anyway, I'm excited for this. I think it spells good things for our summer. I think we're going to start to see these things hit store shelves within the month, and I think that we're also going to get a Sony PS5 showcase, a long overdue PS5 showcase, at least by June. That's the word on the street.
Mm.
Um,
Do you think
late May, early June.
it'll be before Meta does theirs?
I don't know what Meta's doing, man. They've already missed the window on their gaming showcase, so I guess they're probably going to wait a little bit closer to when Quest 3 is coming out,
Mm.
which does make sense. It's just weird that they've been so quiet about it.
Maybe they're waiting a little bit closer to PlayStation's event. Maybe they want to piss all over it or try to anyway.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe they know something about what Valve's doing. You remember when they announced Valve Index? It was like the day that they announced Rift S and Quest 1. Do you remember?
Yeah,
Valve tried to squash what Meta was doing with their announcement.
yeah, that's true.
So who knows? Who knows what? I mean, I honestly, if you ask me what I think, if Meta is reacting to some potential change in the marketplace that's happening this year, it's Apple. they're all reacting to what they think might happen when the Apple thing gets announced, which, by the way, seems increasingly likely that that's going to be pretty soon. So I think that they're kind of building their strategy around what they think is going to happen with Apple.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many unknowns, right?
But they came out and they said that let's see, what did Zuck say this week? He said that that Quest 3 will be affordable for a lot of people. He
I
didn't say
know.
everyone. He
I
said a
love
lot of
that.
people.
It's that phrasing that made me wonder when I heard that. Because what does that mean? A lot of people. Because
I don't know, man.
you could say that for just about anything. I mean, I don't know. Quest Pro is affordable for a lot of people as well. It doesn't mean a lot of people are going to buy them, but like that's such a very vague statement.
Is it going to be comfortable for a lot of people? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I would hope so. But a lot of people, at least with the, they're pushing this laying down in VR thing, Wes, and so that tells me that they're probably going to have a regular strap again, and you're going to have to buy an extra accessory. So
Probably. You know what's cool though? Virtual Desktop got a lot better this past week. Did you read that they're now doing AI upscaling for streamed PCVR? So any XR2 device, not just Quest 2, but any XR2 device that's streaming PCVR games, the headset can now upscale it in a similar method that's used by AMD's FSR. So it's basically FSR for mobile chipsets, but Virtual Desktop is integrating that now. So those of you who complain about like compression artifacts and things like this when you're streaming games, that's about to get a lot better. Or actually, it has already because the update's already out. But I think that's pretty cool, man. You always think to yourself, what's the next thing that Gigo Den is going to be able to do? I mean, he's done everything with Virtual Desktop already, and then he pulls something else out of his hat. Pretty incredible.
that is pretty incredible. Yeah, that's cool. I did see something about that.
Michelle B says Quest 3 $600 unless they add eye tracking, then it's more. I think eye tracking or not, regardless of features, I think 600 is the high water mark for them. I think if they put something out that's more than that, then they're not going to sell very many of them. I think that they would be much more well served to keep it around 500. If they need to put a little more on it, make it 550 like PSVR 2. 600 is the high water mark. If they get up to like 650 and 700, people are just going to say fuck it.
I think it's part of what they were doing with the Pro is testing what people would pay, right? And people said, "Nah, I'm not buying shit for that much." So I agree. $600, probably more like 550, somewhere to compete with PlayStation VR 2, and you don't even need a console for it, right? So
Septicon says Snapdragon Super Resolution. That's right, SSR as compared to FSR, right? Anyway, why don't we say hello to our friends in chat here? That's about enough of the hardware talk. We talk about games on this program, and if we're going to talk about hardware, we typically have enough respect for you people to bring an expert like Brad in to talk about it. And so, since Brad's not here, we're going to we're going to forego all the hardware talk until tomorrow, assuming that we're going live with CruCast tomorrow, and get to the games. So let's say hello to our friends in chat. Bluebell is here. Bluebell asks, "Where's Mepper?" I don't know. Where is Mepper?
I don't know.
Are you here, Mark?
He's out there somewhere.
Either. Assassin 32 VR, $500 with a version coming later with eye tracking for 600. Maybe. It seems like if they were going to put eye tracking in it, though, that would just be the version. I don't see them doing two like that. I mean, maybe later they'll do a pro version, but I think it would. I think it would be more than $100 upsell at that point. I think it would probably be a couple $100 at least. Mark Pringlesleaf, Technoglitch was first today, by the way. What's up, Technoglitch? Rogue TR is here. Derail.
Tech says he's not buying jack till the perfect headset comes out. Well, good luck for you, bro, because you just left the VR world because you're never going to get that perfect headset. It's going to, or at least for probably a decade.
Blue Bottle says Hubris so tempted on Steam. Well, hold that thought. We're gonna talk about Hubris in a minute. You might not want to pull the trigger on that Steam copy so quickly. What's up, Derail? What's up? Let's see. I should start scrolling. What's up, Izard? Nice to see you. D1360 VR. What's up? What's up, Decepticon? What's up, wife? Good to see you. Who else? Wolveraza, the 34th member in the chat. Good to see you. TJ Radburn's here. What's up? Looper, the Underground Gamecat. 1,000 people is a lot. I agree. You know who doesn't think 1,000 people is a lot, Roots?
My mom! I was just going for the record. 2,000.
VR Spry Guy, what's up? Shout out to Spry Guy, by the way, being the man and pulling our timestamps for us the last few weeks. You're awesome, dude. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Happy birthday, too. I thought that's what you were going to tell him. Happy birthday.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm sorry I forgot your birthday, Spry Guy.
Yeah.
Chi-Town D. What up, D? D's been streaming a lot, huh?
Yeah, she was streaming some Returnal yesterday, I think, for like 5 hours or something.
For like 5, right? Like,
yeah, her and Mash did some co-op. Almost got the second boss down. From what this, I was doing other stuff. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I heard it was crazy.
Beat the first boss or the second boss on my first try.
Did you really? Well, that doesn't surprise me. Have you tried co-op yet? I guess you did with Mash.
Caveat: the next like 5 times I tried, I got my ass kicked. But the first time, I actually did it. I had such a good loadout going into it. It was hard for him to beat me.
It's with the right loadout. That's what it's all about, right?
That's it. Who else is here? Chrome Colossus. PS5 is doing well. I don't think we have numbers for PSVR 2 yet. I don't think. Well, I can tell you this, Chrome Colossus. Those numbers that Bloomberg put out last month, those are pretty accurate from what I understand. And the reason why I say that is because I heard those numbers weeks before Bloomberg came out with them. I heard them from other people who would know. So I think the numbers are right. I just don't think they're as bad or as doom and gloom as Bloomberg made them out to be.
Without the context, it completely, you have no idea what the numbers mean, right? They don't tell people anything around it. They just tell you numbers and then give you a scenario, which is worst case scenario, which isn't true. And, what's bad is publications do that and then they don't retract it, when it's obviously not true, they just moved on to something else.
Yeah. So. Right. People, they got their clicks. People lost their shit like they always do. Clicked the articles, talked about it, which guarantees they'll do it again.
Yeah, that's true. We shouldn't talk about it. Oh, what are we talking about, Wes?
We're talking about Scott Jesko, PSN Harry Fellow, the PSVR GameCat for life. What's up, Scott?
Yep.
Who else is here? Mickey Barrios is here. What's up? Wolveraza watches 3D movies through Skybox video player and virtual desktop. That's the way. That is a way to do that.
Yeah.
You can also load them right into your Quest 2 and watch them on Oculus TV as well, if you want to go through all the trouble of doing that shit. Let's see. Who else is here? Decepticon is here. James is here. I think we already said hi to Zach Wilder. What's up? Warmark. Hello. Mind Jive. Hello. Who else? Lesser Logic is here. Luke Rogi is here. Ruthless Metal is here as well. Zaylan Maru is here. Kill Artist. The Dreamweaver GameCat. Boognish66. Alakazam. We got friends in the chat today, Roots. Michelle B, we already said hello to. Der Schnuff says it's 1:17 in Germany. Time to go to bed? Nope. No. It's Virtual Strangers 185. That's right.
It's time to stay awake. Watch.
How ironic is it, Roots, that for people like Der Schnuff, Strangers in the Night comes in the morning, and then Virtual Strangers comes at night for these people.
Topsy-turvy world, right? Everything's upside down, backwards.
Well, Danke schön, Der Schnuff. Sehr gut. Four Wheeling's here. Lincoln Clay VR is here. Who else? Anyone else? Hussein X. What's up? Hussein X, one of our winners from our giveaway last week.
Bluebell's giving you a shout out for great notes once again, Wes. Lots on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, there really was lots of. I mean, like, this is the way it happened today. Is like, I reconfigured the notes like 3 times today because there was so much stuff that I wanted to talk about that I had like 5 things in the intro segment. There was more in the intro than there was in the body. So then I moved some of that down, and then I thought, oh shit, that's just too much to talk about. So what did I do? I just sent all that shit to the cutting room floor and took the stuff out that I wanted to talk about. And I did touch on some of it, like all this stuff that we're talking about with meta and all of these other things we talked about in the intro. I had articles for all that stuff, but I didn't want to take the time to kind of go through all of it. But yeah, lots of stuff on the cutting room floor. Thank you, Bluebell, for the compliment, and I hope you enjoyed.
Thomas McNostril says he's struggling to stay awake. It's 1:39 in the fake world. He says real world, but the real world's here, man. At least
Meat
for
space.
now. Yeah, right. It's wherever you are is the real world, right?
JS is here. What's up? Thomas McNostril's here. Simplex staying up late. What's up, Simplex? Who else? Flamehat the Game Cat is here. Space Denizen here as well. Roy Schwartz, hello friend. Gear is here. Do you do testosterone gear? I've been watching a lot of Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer this week, Roots, and they've been taking testosterone replacement, which is a good idea for people who are our age if you need it. But they keep calling it gear. Like I want to shoot my gear up like they're fucking bodybuilders or something. So when I see gear in the chat now, all I'm thinking about is fat ass Bert Kreischer shooting testosterone into his ass.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it. But as far as like testosterone shots, but I guess I knew they existed, but I don't need
it. Speaking of being jacked, Orland Hooper's here as well.
Yeah, Orland Hooper's jacked, yo. I have the soundbite somewhere on my computer. But.
Yeah, we're taking it. I mean, if they're going to take my mom, we can take Orland Hooper.
That's true. Yep.
Who else? Anybody else here that we haven't said hello to yet? Q Creator, awesome as always. Glad you're here, friend. Berber Cat's here. Handy Capable Gamer, good to see you in the chat. Our good friend, the Handy Capable Gamer. Fat Boy Vernon's here. Hawk 107 is here. Ryan Brandon is here. Jeunesse C'est Quoi is here. And as I see Technoglitch at the top, I think that is the end of our list. And I do think it's actually our list in its entirety.
Wow.
AJ, I just saw at the top of my window 552, and I already know that's AJ. What's up, AJ? Thank you for the 552. So I was watching AJ stream his weekly, or I guess it used to be weekly. I don't know if he does it every week anymore. His viewer's choice, which he just goes live and lets the viewers tell him what to play. And he typically covers 8 to 10 games over about 3 hours. And I was watching that earlier. And by the way, remind me to talk about AJ's experience in What the Bat. He loves it just as much as MASH. But anyway, someone, a virtual something another, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, whoever you were. Someone else who had a virtual handle gave AJ a 550 donation. He thought it was me, so he thanked me for it. And eventually I had to come clean that it wasn't me, but I felt so bad about it that I gave a 551 donation just so I could one up Virtual Waypoint. That's who it was, Virtual Waypoint. So I could like upstage Virtual Waypoint by donating 1 more cent, and now here's AJ putting another penny on top of mine.
Who's going to be 553? That's what I want to know.
There we go.
It's
Tip
funny.
Train.
I told you, Wes, and this maybe it would have been even worse that before I almost was late to the show because I was trying to do better on some levels for Zombieland Headshot Fever, right? And I literally almost went into What the Bat first. Now thank God I didn't, because imagine this. I love it so much. I do miss the show. It's like 30 minutes later, you're like messaging D, where's Roots? What the fuck's going on? What the Bat has just gripped me so much. I don't know if that exists out there for somebody. Somebody's got to love this game, right? Oh, upload VR, right? So
Right, Upload VR Game of the Year. No, man, I was really interested to see AJ get into this because he's typically pretty impartial with his opinions. And you know, Mash. I mean, for what it's worth, Mash judged that game before he played it. 100% judged that game before he played it. And Miles played it right around PSVR 2 launch, and he said, "You know what? It was all right. I had a little bit of fun in there." So I thought, okay, AJ is going to be the kind of final word on whether or not I get in and check it out. And he just fucking hated it from the moment he started in it. It was just as stupid and bad as Mash said it was, or at least it looked that way.
Did it have the
So,
song?
it did. It
Oh
did
well,
have the
I
song.
don't know what's wrong with people then with that song. Like that's all you need is the song. You don't even need gameplay.
So Looper the Underground Game Cat says Miles loves it. So I remember you saying during your stream, AJ, that you need to find out who likes this game because their opinion has no weight with you whatsoever anymore. There you go.
There you go. Talking point next
Miles,
time.
Upload VR and Miles.
Yeah, to be fair, at least Upload VR got a paycheck out of it. Assuming. I don't know. Maybe they didn't.
Anyway, it was Virtual Slayer Cat with the original donation. It wasn't Virtual Waypoint, so my bad. I don't think Slayer Cat's here, but if you watch this later, my bad. AJ corrected me though, so credit where it's due, Slayer Cat.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, why don't we talk about some VR? That's what all these people showed up for. Why don't we get into it finally, Reds?
Old O technology I found years ago. Nobody knows about it. I want to keep it that way.
Alright, normally when you enter this loft, you would get a Vion sales tour. But we clearly don't have the time.
For the journey ahead, you won't be needing any weapons, as you will be escorted by far more experienced and trained soldiers.
Sci-fi action adventure Hubris launches hits. PSVR 2 this May. I think that they couldn't make their mind up whether it launches or hits PSVR 2 Roots.
I think they just wanted to throw extra words in there. They probably got paid by the word.
That could be true. This from the almighty PlayStation blog and our friend Koen Vandenstein, the producer of Hubris at Cyborg. Greetings all. We have thrilling news to share with all of you today. Next month, Hubris will be launching on PlayStation VR 2, and this version promises to deliver an unparalleled experience. Cyborg has made significant improvements to the game, particularly for the new PSVR 2, resulting in enhanced graphics and gameplay. But first, what is Hubris all about? Hubris is a VR action-adventure game set in a unique and colorful sci-fi universe with immersive movement options, including swimming, climbing, and jumping. Players will have to gather resources, craft food, and upgrade their weapons to fight off alien wildlife, droids, and humanoid enemies. The inclusion of foveated rendering is a significant enhancement for our game, which features complex and expansive scenes. This cutting-edge technology allows for a sharper resolution than anything previously achieved. The game's textures and models are now several times clearer, while frame rate remains stable. Prepare for an even immersive gameplay experience thanks to the advanced DualSense controller haptics. You'll feel every action in the game with feedback provided through both the controllers and the headset. From swimming to shooting, every action has been customized with haptic feedback. Moreover, we've adjusted the weight of the guns to simulate an impactful feel, and the triggers adapt to the specifications of each weapon. The adaptive triggers have allowed us to significantly improve the precision of triggering alternative fire modes for both the shotgun and the harpoon gun, making shooted guided missiles feel even more responsive. In addition, we have revamped the gun reloading mechanism and enhanced the aiming and iron sights on all the weapons. Additionally, new enemy variations have been introduced, requiring players to approach certain situations differently. The balancing has been refined, providing a greater challenge for players on the hardest difficulty level and more story-focused gameplay experience for those on the easiest level. For a more complete experience, the game features 3D audio technology. You can hear the exact location of your enemies and determine the right time to open fire based on their footsteps. In addition, we've incorporated a complete ambient music soundtrack that adapts to the player's environment and combat state, making the game's most tense moments even more complete. We're thrilled about the upcoming release of Hubris on PSVR 2, and we hope you are too. Get ready to explore the Twin Planet system this May. Join our Discord community to share your excitement for this release and be the first to know the exact launch date. So this is good news on so many different fronts, Roots. There's so many things I can dive into here. First of all, before we even start to talk about anything that's in this article, I want to talk about what it means for us that this game is coming to PSVR 2 now, because this game and Lawn launched at the beginning of December last year. And by the time the 2022 show rolled around, I think we were pretty confident that both of them kind of deserved probably to hold a little bit more prominent of a space in the Game of the Year discussion because they were so good. But, we didn't have enough time with them to really kind of flesh it out. So they kind of took a lesser role in our show than they should have. So we get a second chance with Hubris now, Roots. And it seems like, at least from what they're saying here, that this is going to be the definitive version of the game and better than the Steam version, which is on the store right now.
Well, that's good. It sounds like they're actually using the technology, right? The adaptive triggers, that kind of stuff. I was noticing that today for Zombieland when my gun would run out, the way the trigger would feel when it was empty. I'd be like, oh shit, I'm out of bullets. Just the little things, right, you take for granted. So hopefully it will be the definitive version. And I know the PC version is very good. I know people were asking how much it costs. On PC right now, it's on sale for 35% off for $19.49, usually $29.99. So if you're going to pick it up on Steam, today is the day.
And for what it's worth, a lot of these improvements, not the ones that are specific to the hardware. Obviously, you're not going to get advanced haptics and all this foveated rendering and all that stuff on Steam ever, or at least until there's a new PC headset. But these other things that they're talking about, the new soundtrack, the AI upgrades and the new enemies and the new reload mechanics. I don't think it mentioned here, but I think they're redoing the voiceovers in the game. Even like there's going to be new voice acting in it. All of that stuff will eventually come to Steam. Eventually, later this year. But I think it's notable, at least for someone who's been holding off and wondering which version of this game they should get. For a significant amount of time, this game is going to be by far better on PlayStation VR 2 if everything that they're saying is correct. These are our friends, Roots. These people at Cyborg. We've been working with them since they initially announced their game for PC all those many moons ago. They're really excited about this version of the game. What they told me, Roots, is that even before the foveated rendering got integrated, that this game had better resolution on PSVR than it ever had on Steam.
Wow.
And those are big words because we were drooling over this game on Steam. They said the sharpest picture was on PSVR 2 before they put in the foveated rendering. And now they've got foveated rendering integrated with it to make it even sharper. They're using adaptive resolution. So to keep the frame rate stable whenever there's a really busy scene, the game kind of adapts to that and adjusts resources so you never get a dip in frame rate. They've really put a lot of work in on this thing. And I'm impressed because we asked them when this thing came out on Steam, would it be coming to PSVR 2? And they said yes. And then we immediately asked about advanced features, and they kind of downplayed the idea. They acted like it was going to just be a straight port. Obviously, they've changed their mind about that, and I'm glad they did.
Yeah, give them a reason to get this version over the others. Was it Beard of Power was asking, if it's worth playing, I guess, or was it the gameplay that was a letdown or the performance? Because Fluke Rogi was saying that this game should be up for mediocre disappointment of the year.
Well, for what it's worth, we don't always agree with Fluke Rogi.
Well, I was going to answer to Beard of Power. It's definitely not a performance thing. The game's beautiful. No. Some people thought the gameplay was shallow, I guess, to some extent, right? But they've been adding and changing so much, and it was already an amazing game to begin with. So I think this will definitely be the definitive way to play it for sure.
I think Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge is the closest thing to compare it to in the VR library. In terms of gameplay, it plays very similar to that game, but you kind of strip all the Star Wars stuff off and put kind of like a generic sci-fi story over top of it, and that's kind of what Hubris is. Although that is a bit of an oversimplification because there's definitely more exploration, more platforming. There's a lot more freedom with regards to movement in this game versus the Star Wars game. So there are many ways in which this game is a superior game to Galaxy's Edge, but the way that the shooting kind of works is very similar to Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, in my opinion.
Do you know what the frames are going to be at? Because James has a good point as far as the Sony getting the memo out to devs, targeting 90 frames versus the whole double 60. Just the weirdness, like it should be standard, right? I thought that was standard a long time ago.
Well, there's a lot to be said here about this one, and I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about and what I'm not allowed to talk about. I will point out a few things. First of all, not all games that use reprojection on PlayStation have been terrible. Like some of them have been worse than others. I'll also, again, reiterate, like I did in the chat earlier, that it's very possible that these games, the reason why we're getting perceived motion blur could be on Sony's end and could be resolved in a future firmware update. Could be. Again, I don't know. And some of the things I do know, I can't really say. But I would say if that's something that you're concerned about, maybe wait for reviews before you buy it, because we'll be playing this game and talking about it the day it launches. So we'll have the skinny for you then.
Cool.
Mark Pringlesleaf asks, are there puzzles in Hubris? Yeah, there are some kind of. I mean, I wouldn't call it a puzzler by any stretch of the imagination, but there is some puzzling in it, a little bit.
Well, let's break this down, okay? Because I'm sure there's people in this chat that would not play this because the gameplay, they didn't think it's not deep enough, but then they would gush about Kayak VR and how amazing it looks. I would rather be in this world and explore it than I would in Kayak VR. The world, it's one of the most beautiful games I've seen in virtual reality. It just blows me away. And like I said, they're making the positive changes you noted So I didn't play deep enough into it, but one person I know that did play really deep, probably finished it, is Skiva. And when he was playing through it, that's all he could rave about how amazing this game was. So
Yeah, yeah, Skiva loved it. Like Skiva, I think Skiva's played through the thing 3 times. Um, I played pretty deep into it, Roots. I don't think well, I know I didn't finish it. The later levels I did not play through, and I'm glad now that I didn't because I'm very much looking forward to playing through this on PlayStation VR 2. You know, the game's been already updated significantly since we covered it on launch. Um, it had a pretty substantial update with new enemy types and AI update early this year. So this will be the second major update to the game, plus all of the PSVR 2 specific features on top of that. I'm glad that I didn't finish it. Now I get to kind of enjoy the best version of the game as it hits PSVR 2.
yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, what a great time for it. We're coming off of a month. You know, PSVR 2 had an awesome end of February, had an awesome March. April, it slowed down, man. There was 3 games came out during April, and they weren't exactly bangers. So that crew is kind of hungry, starting to get hungry for some new content. And there's a few games coming out this month, and this is one of them coming at just the right time. Just as PSVR 2 hits the store, Roots, people are going to be able to bring it home and buy Hubris. It's going to be awesome.
How cool is it that the PlayStation VR people, you know, that if that's their only headset, they now get the definitive best version over PC. And this is not like, this is starting to become, I don't want to say standard, but it's more common than I've ever seen for that, right? Like before you relied on the content being the best, like, but now it's just even the immersion. You can't get that level of immersion in PC VR with all the adaptive stuff. Even just using my regular PlayStation 5 controller for Returnal gives me a level of immersion you can't get with an Xbox controller. And people don't realize that just how the triggers make a difference. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like playing a muted version of VR when you spend a lot of time in PlayStation VR and then you move back to PC. Now, with that said, I love my PC VR. Like, I do enjoy putting on my G2 and having that sharpness
right.
that comes with that headset. But as soon as you start playing, like everything feels a little bit muted because of the lack of the haptics and all the advanced stuff that you get on the Sony system.
Yeah, and like Zimtalk was saying on Twitter today, and I agree with him. He was saying, you know, with all the mods and all the benefits to PC VR, and as amazing as it is, the simplicity of the PlayStation VR and just being able to plug in and just go right into it and not have any weirdness, and there's something to be said about it. Less friction, right? So
Yeah. Bearded Power 666 says it sounds like it's going to look stunning on PSVR 2. I can't wait to see it. Me either. And that's the good news, is you're not going to have to wait very long. Now, this article doesn't reveal what the release date for this title is, but I can tell you it's not far. It's coming very soon. And that was kind of the other big surprise with this for me, Roots, is when we asked them, you know, late last year, early this year, when is this game coming to PSVR 2? They were telling us Q3, Q4, like at the end of the year, we would see this game. To be getting it in May, which I'm pretty sure I'm not telling any tales out of school there. I'm pretty sure they said it's coming. Yeah, the headline says it's coming this May. So yeah, it's coming this month, which is about 4 to 6 months sooner than I was expecting. And again, with all this extra stuff tacked into it, these guys have obviously been hard to work polishing their game.
yeah, well, it's smart. You know, give a deadline that you can meet and actually beat, right? That way people are happy instead of saying, "Oh, it's coming in May," and then it comes in like September, or worse, it comes in May and it's shit. You know, that's that's the worst. So
I think that there might still be a possibility this one rolls into June. A small possibility. No, it's not going to be out tomorrow, Boognish. A small possibility it rolls into June, I think, and that's just pure speculation on my part. They would have put the date in the article here if they were sure it was going to hit the date. That's just common sense. But I can assure you, we're talking weeks, not months here with this one. So everyone stay tuned. You should be excited about this, especially if you've been Sony exclusive all this time. People like Brian Paul are going to absolutely love this shit, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, that's Hubris. We are very much looking forward to playing this one. Any day now, Roots. Any day now, we're going to be playing Hubris on PSVR 2, and I can't wait.
When's it coming to Quest 2? No, just kidding. Probably not happening.
Actually, it is. It is
Is it?
happening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, coming to Quest, coming to Pico, coming to all major VR platforms.
That's crazy.
Requisition VR leaves Steam Early Access on May 4th. This is from Henry Stockdale at Upload VR. Requisition VR leaves Steam Early Access next month, while a Quest 2 version follows in Q1 next year. Released on PCVR last October, Requisition VR is a physics-based co-op game inspired by Dead Rising and The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Developed by Arcadia VR, it allows you to craft weapons from household items, taking down zombies using incredibly absurd devices like electrically charged baseball bats or four-pronged chair swords. In preparation for full launch, Arcadia VR has already released what it calls Update 1.0, which implements a new survival mode. Additional features like a new PDA hand interface are also included, alongside various bug fixes and tweaks to the game's balance. You can view the full Update 1.0 patch notes via Steam. Requisition VR is available now in Steam Early Access, with the full release arriving on May 4th, while the Quest 2 port follows in Q1 2024. Elsewhere, general producer Oliver Smirnov previously confirmed that a PSVR 2 version is in development, and Arcadia said that it's arriving this year. So while we're on the subject of games that we probably didn't give enough time to since they've launched, it's a perfect segue into Requisition VR, which we did play and we did cover, but I gotta say, Roots, I feel like the version of this game that we played was unfinished. It was new to early access. There were definite improvements over the pre-release version versus the post-release version, but there was still a lot missing from what we played right after it hit early access, and we put it down. But now that this game is finally reaching full release, it might be time for us to revisit this one.
Yeah, it's 4 players. Looks like Gambit kind of. Maybe just that mask, but yeah, super cool. Can't wait to see a little bit more fleshed out, right?
Yeah, they say that they've added in like a survival mode. When we played it, the game felt like a survival mode, didn't it? It didn't feel like something that has a campaign, which the game does have a campaign now, like a story-driven campaign. I think there's like 3 or 4 levels to it, and you can play with up to 3 of your friends. Absolutely beautiful graphics. The physics are amazing in this game, and you can make a weapon out of anything. I think really my biggest my biggest complaint about the game is that whole make a weapon out of anything mechanic seemed like a gimmick. It wasn't something that you really needed to do, and in a lot of cases, if you're trying to make like basketball knives and chairs choppers and all this other shit, it took up precious time and would get you killed for trying to do it. But this article does highlight that they have rebalanced the game a little bit, so hopefully using that stuff makes a little more sense now.
Yeah, definitely give me a reason to make a really bizarre weapon, right? Give me really cool perks for it. Like, you have to have this, egg beater weapon, dude. Like, it's the best one. So,
who doesn't want to scramble brains, Roots?
Yeah, that's true.
But we liked it. We in general had some pretty good fun in this one. even in its early state. You could definitely see the potential there. Arcadia, a very talented studio, and one of these indies that, at least in terms of production value, puts out stuff that's pretty close to like a double A, triple A production value. I mean, even with Hinge was freaking amazingly beautiful when it launched. Even if it took them a while to get their hands around the optimization for the performance. This game doesn't disappoint on either of those fronts, unless it's very different now than it was. I mean, it looks and plays really good.
Yeah. Is this coming to PlayStation VR too? Or not?
It is.
Is it really?
Hopefully,
Wow.
yeah. Hopefully later this year, this game will be out on PlayStation VR.
I guess that this is the new Quest 2, where back in the day it was like every game was like, yeah, we're coming to Quest 2. Of course we're coming to Quest 2, which is good. So
Also coming to Quest 2, but it should hit PSVR before it hits Quest. Anyway, shout out to our friends at Arcadia. Again, looking forward to getting back in this one. Hopefully, the schedule will allow us to get back in and enjoy this game the way that it was intended to be enjoyed, as it hits 1.0 next week, this week on Steam VR.
oh, nice. This next one was.
Yeah, I know, right? PC VR hit could be coming to PSVR 2, but not to MetaQuest 2. This from Joseph Earl, mixnews.com. Zach Siakolis Brown is in talks with Sony about bringing his PCVR hit to PSVR 2. A version for mobile headsets is not planned. PCVR developer Zach Siakolis Brown has confirmed that he is in talks with Sony about a possible release of Vertigo 2 on the PSVR 2. Although there are no concrete plans yet, Siakolis Brown shows great interest in the project and considers an implementation definitely possible. However, he rejects a release for MetaQuest 2. This is a lot more reference than the other article I read that said he gently declined Meta's offer. PCVR hit Vertigo 2 to PS. Why does it keep putting the headline in the middle of the article? That's weird. Mr. Brown said in an interview, "I'm really interested in Vertigo 2 on PS. So no concrete plans, but I would love for that to happen. And I definitely think it's possible that will happen." The Vertigo developer was also asked about a possible conversion of Vertigo 2 to the Quest platform. He confirmed that several representatives from Meta had contacted him without asking directly about a Vertigo 2 port. Quote, "I've had several Meta people reach out and be like, 'Hey, are you interested in a conversation?' And I've just kind of gently turned them down because I'm pretty committed to not working with Meta." That's hilarious, dude. Rest of this article, we already know what direction it's going. I just want to point out just how awesome it is that this guy is so Valve to his core that he basically won't even talk about publishing his game on the one platform that has more users than all the other platforms put together. You got to admire that, Roots, that it's not all just money for this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And for a lot of developers, I'd say, because this game is so amazing as far as the way it looks and the physics and everything, that a lot of developers would say that just to not have to try to bring it to a Quest 2, right? And deal with that hardware. But I 100% believe Zach could do it. Like, I think Zach could do it and it would blow everybody away. I just think he's just like, fuck you, Meta. I'm just not doing it.
It's a lot of work for sure, right? Like, it would be a lot of work to have a game like that run on standalone hardware. Now, again, at the end of the day, it would probably be worth it monetarily. But he's part of this old school VR thought where he doesn't want to make a game if it's watered down. He doesn't, you know what I mean? He wants to make the game he wants to make, and he'll publish it on the platforms that can handle it. And I can certainly respect that. Yeah, I mean, the other option would be to hire someone to port it. And this just guy doesn't seem like he's the type that would do that, right? He'd try to do it all himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess that was the end of the article. There was one more line. Mr. Brown has publicly criticized Meta in the past, accusing the company of a disservice to the VR industry with weak metaverse marketing. Again, just another line to illustrate my image of this guy, having never really met him and only talked to him or chatted with him on a few short occasions. Guys like this are kind of a dying breed in what we do here. So I always think that it's admirable when somebody steps up and just kind of sticks to what they believe in here.
Yeah, let's get Zach on the 200 episode show. Come on, come on down, Zach.
Yeah, I like how you're thinking, Rich. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do believe that Vertigo 2 will make its way to PlayStation VR 2. Again, it's a lot of work for a small team like him and maybe one or two other people. It would take a while. So I'd be surprised if we saw this game this year, Roots. I would think that this would probably be something that would come in 2024 or maybe even later.
Yeah, absolutely. Eric says, yeah, why try and put your game on the best-selling headset? Such short-sightedness from developers. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of money left on the table for making that choice, for sure. I agree 100%.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with making money. I am all for people, and I completely understand why everyone wants to take their games to Quest 2. All I'm saying is when somebody says not me, I also think that's a respectable thing to do. I mean, obviously he has convictions and reasons for that. And I admire someone who doesn't just make everything about the money. That's all I'm saying.
Not only did he say not me, he went out of his way to say not me in this interview to point it out. And you know what I mean? Like, he's just like, dude, this is why I'm not doing it. And explains it, you know. He just does not like what Meta's doing. Says they're genuinely doing incalculable.
A lot of people
harm to
don't.
public
That's
perception.
the thing. A lot of people don't. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's more, typically you hear more stuff like this from like the chat and the comment section. You don't hear it from developers unless they're part of that old school. And there's a number of people who kind of subscribe to this thought, but they're typically older guys. This is not one of those guys. This is a guy that got into the industry when he was really young and came up in Valve. So it makes sense, right? Even though he's not on, you know, been around for decades like a lot of these guys, other guys, he shares that kind of philosophy. So it's a unique situation. That's all. It fascinates me, Roots. It fascinates me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I think we had another story to talk about, didn't we? Oh, yeah. We had a couple more, actually.
Yep.
Pretty cool. First-person VR platformer No More Rainbows coming soon to Quest 2 and PC VR. This from Scott Hayden at Road to VR. Squiddo Studio announced its first-person platformer No More Rainbows is coming to Quest 2 and Steam VR headsets soon, offering up a VR take on classic platforming action. No More Rainbows has been available in open beta on Quest App Lab for a year now, and it's almost time for it to graduate to the main Quest store and Steam too. Exactly when, we don't know, but Squiddo and its partner Robot Teddy says it's coming very soon. Here's the studio's description of the first-person VR platformer. In No More Rainbows, you are the beast who must spring forth into a fantastical virtual reality world to reclaim your home from the beings of infinite happiness that have infested the underworld. Bizu and their merry band of minions plan to take over your sanctuary of screams and turn it into a bountiful paradise where cries of pain and torment are replaced by kisses and rainbows. What a nightmare. Use arm-based locomotion mechanics to run, jump, claw, climb, using only your hands and arms to engage with tight platformer mechanics. Roots. So this game looks interesting, right? It looks unique and funny, kind of in that Captain Toonhead kind of weird way. And when I look at it, I could see where there's some fun to be had here. But then it talks about run, jump, claw, and climb using arm-based locomotion mechanics. You know, Creed's fun to play. Sprint Vector's fun to play, but only once, because I don't go back to those games because my arms feel like they're going to fall off after I play them. I hope that this isn't one of those type of games.
Dude, you don't even want to do arm movement in Demio. You know what I mean? Just give me the turn. I don't blame you.
I know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Bluebell says this is too close to like Gorilla Tag and is out. And I've never played Gorilla Tag. I've not.
I haven't either. I have no desire to play Gorilla Tag. This game actually looks fun, though. This looks like something I could have a laugh at, you know?
I love platformers.
So,
As a matter of fact, that was one of the things that D and I were playing Cuphead last night. That game is like the hardest game platformer I've ever played, man. I don't know how many times I died to the same stuff over and over again. But I love platformers, so I would love to, from that perspective, I think it'd be cool.
what do you think about the concept here, man? You're like a minion from hell, and all of these rainbow people show up one day and just start building their own little settlement. Like, so you have to go brutally murder these little happy creatures and get them out of hell. What do you think about the concept? Is that funny at all?
I think it could be entertaining. I don't know. It depends on what people take it, how they take it. I could see people getting offended. I don't think it's meant to be offensive. I think it's cool. Why not?
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't think it's meant to be that at all. I think it's meant to be funny that these things bleed happiness and joy all over everything, and they're the villains of the game. That's kind of funny. Is the whole premise that the little rainbow people are the villains, and you're this murderous beast that goes and gets creative about how you destroy them. I think it's funny. I hope I can play it through. You know what I mean? I hope I can go back to it without thinking, man, it's going to make me feel so terrible after I do it.
Yeah, what was it? That one game? I think it was Trover. You had to go kill the happy people, and I felt bad about doing that too.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, though, man.
That's true.
Anyway, one more pretty cool headline coming up. Something else that kind of fits that whole series of games here that we need to go back into because they've been updated multiple times since we covered them, and we enjoyed them the first time around.
せいぜい俺を楽しませろ。
これがこうなってじゃじゃーん見て見て似合ってるかな私だって年相応のガールなんだよ
我が剣を見よ
俺はシュナイダー要塞で人に力を与えているおい魔法使いお前が打ち倒してきた強敵積み重ねてきた実績試してやる俺に強さの証を見せてみろ死の剣を知れ魔法使い
Ruinsmagus update adds English voiceovers and remixed dungeons. This from Henry Stockdale at Upload to VR. The Ruinsmagus remix update is now live, adding English voice acting and remixed dungeons on Quest 2 and PSVR. Following on from December's The Warrior and the Tailor DLC, developer Character Bank's free remix update for Ruinsmagus mainly focuses on improved support for Western players, alongside an updated translation that adds a free optional English dub with Amalie, Christina V, and Todd Habkerton, Roger Rose, and more. The late game dungeons were also remixed for a fresh gameplay experience. We are so proud to make Ruinsmagus more accessible to players around the world, states Shudo Mikami Character Bank CEO in a prepared statement. With the Remix update, we've been able to continue our support and improve the experience of Ruinsmagus. Ruinsmagus Remix update is available now on Quest 2 and PCVR through a release date, and coming through a release date for the Pico version remains unknown, although a date remains unknown. Okay, so second or maybe even third now major update to Ruinsmagus since launch. This one kind of addressing the age-old anime question of what do you prefer, subs or dubs? So I ask you, Roots, do you prefer subtitles or English dubs when you watch foreign games or play foreign games or watch foreign movies?
Well, okay, let me just put it this way. I'm not reading a fucking book. Okay, like I go if I'm going to watch a movie or whatever it is, I want to pay attention to everything except reading the dialogue. I get it, you know. I would rather have the letters, the actual words written out than really poor voice acting. But if you're talking about like very well done voice acting, hands down, I want to hear it in the language that my ears love to hear. You know,
and I have the utmost confidence that it will be good voice acting, because everything else that Characters Bank has done with this game has been good, or at least that we experienced. It was all great.
Yeah, I get it though. I you know, there's a lot of people out there, they just love I kind of love the way that especially with anime, the Japanese language sounds, right? It's just really cool sounding, and I don't know what the hell they're saying, but it sounds cool. So I get it, but yeah.
Yeah, and I mean Remix Dungeons, so it's not all about just story stuff here. That we got new gameplay with this update as well. The dungeons were pretty expansive in this game. I guess some portions of it were a little repetitive with the tutorial stuff in the beginning. They kind of beat you over the head with how to do all the moves, which kind of makes sense. There's a lot of moves and stuff that you can do in this game. But besides that, I mean the dungeons were pretty long and expansive in this game, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. You know who loves it when it's long and expansive? What?
My mom!
Yeah, she does.
She loves it. Yeah, so when's the multiplayer coming? That's all I need to know. And I want to know, like, I want to play this game the way it should be played, with Palmer Lucky's headset, that where if you die in the game, you die in real life. That would be the way to play this, Wes. And that's really throwing your cards on the table for sure.
Talk about people just staying in the menu all day. I think that's what would happen in that situation.
I think because
I need to check my settings again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd be
something's
very
not right. I'm seeing blur. I gotta. I'm not getting a solid 90 here. We gotta work on this a little.
Maybe
bit
I come back to it tomorrow, right? So,
For real. No, this will be a nightmare in a game like this, because it isn't easy. It is kind of patterned after that old RPG play style, and I mean, I guess if you go through, if there are difficulty modes, if you go through on easy, maybe it's not so bad. But I know when I played it, it was it put up a challenge, right? You didn't just run through it.
yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, really excited. Again, Roots, just like Requisition, just like Hubris, another game that we probably should revisit, because it's very different now than when the game launched.
Yeah, I'm curious to go in just to see how good the voice acting is, right? And I mean, that can totally change the entire experience. So,
yeah, available now. Quest and PCVR available now. Probably already installed on your machine. Just got to go check it out.
Does it come into PSVR too? We don't know, right? That's the question every
that
game.
We don't know. That's the question, right? Right. Well, you said that's the second question. The first question is, where's multiplayer?
Yes.
That's the question, right? That's the question we always ask first, and then the second question, is it coming to PSVR too?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know the answer to those questions, but when we do, you'll be the first to know. Make sure you subscribe and ring the bell. Roots, reminder, it's time for reminders. But we are going to start off a little bit differently this week, as I feel like it's warranted, Roots, that we do a really quick free stuff and killer deals just to let people know of all the awesome stuff there is to be grabbed up if you act fast. First of all, PlayStation Plus, April 2023 games, last chance to claim these games. You're paying for it. Get your games. Like they got Sackboy in here, Roots, and a couple other decent looking games as well. And you've already paid for them, right? Why not pick them up?
Yeah, I need to. I don't know if I picked up Sackboy because I already own it on Steam, but I definitely need to pick it up.
Yeah, you might as well, right? You're paying them. They're $60 a year or whatever, or however you choose to pay for it. Like if you're paying for the service, you might as well get the games they're giving you. Although no PSVR 2 games yet.
Yeah.
And I've heard, people are saying Humanity, the upcoming puzzle game, Lemmings-like puzzle game, being published by Enhanced. People are saying that that's coming with PlayStation Plus when it launches, but it's not in the essential category. It's one of those games you have to buy up on one of the new tiers of PlayStation Plus if you want to access it. So it's not going to be a free game. It is going to be under even higher paywall than the base games. But for what it's worth, they're being very they're giving away a lot more PS5 games these days. Like most of the games they're giving away work on the PS5 and have a good, like a better version. So it's worth picking these games up. Who knows what's going to be a VR game a year from now? Roots. Any one of these games could be put in if Sony decides that they want to do it.
That's true. I don't know how I feel about this tier thing, Wes. I understand it, and I understand it's competing with Game Pass, that type of stuff. But
you said it right there.
That was the whole thing was, okay, and this is my mindset when I first got PS Plus. I have to get this to do multiplayer. That's bullshit. This sucks. Oh, I get free games. Okay, that's cool. Well, at least I get these free games. Well, now you're telling me the better games. I don't get that anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like I'm almost getting slapped in the face again, but I don't know, man. Like it just sucks.
It's like they're trying to remind you that you paid for multiplayer, right?
Yeah. This isn't for the games, bro. Like, step back, calm down. This is just so you can connect with your friends. So.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I get it, and I kind of agree. I see what they're doing. Xbox has that one thing, right? So why not try to give an alternative to it? Because it has had a little bit of success. People that typically play on Microsoft platforms, that's one of the first go-tos that they use to explain why they prefer it, right? It's because they can play all these games, all these great games on day one for a fairly reasonable price.
A lot of times they're new ones. They're new games like Survivor, right. Star Wars Survivor thing or whatever, which is not actually this time. But, that's the best thing about it is like you're thinking about buying a game and then you find out it's on Game Pass. You're like, oh, fuck, man, I don't even have to buy this. I already have Game Pass. So
I think Humanity's a good pick, though, for, to add to their thing. But you're right. It probably should just be all one tier.
Yeah, it's like Humanity's too confusing.
Humanity's one of those games that's going to be hard to convince people to buy, but you might be able to convince a few people to play it and try it. Right. You know what I mean? I played the beginning of the game last week, the first couple of sections, and it was a pretty hardcore Lemmings clone, honestly. I mean, it has this cool kind of Japanese skin pulled over it. Which makes it cute and all, but I mean, if you're into that kind of like flow puzzler type of game, you might enjoy it, and it does look cool in VR.
Well, that's the thing. Those games are popular for a reason, right? Like some people really love Lemmings games. I played them back in the day, so if you have a unique one that looks cool and it's in VR, I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, and I think it'd be worth checking out. I don't know. Again, though, people should play the demo. There's a demo out there for it, and you can kind of see what it has to offer.
Yeah.
Anyway, the moral of the story is get your free PlayStation games.
Yeah.
This is your last chance. Get your stuff. There are some PSVR 2 sales though this week. Roots, quite a few decent games on decent prices. Namely, what might be the best game we've played this year. Resident Evil 8 Village, half off right now. Roots, $20 for that game.
That's crazy. You know, I saw the other day that it only costs $40 anyway, because it's been out for a while now, right? I'm like, man, $20, that's for this game is a no-brainer, man. This is contender for me for game of the year across all platforms. As far as I'm concerned, it was that good. So
Other games, other great games on significant deals. Gran Turismo 7, 29% off right now. After the Fall, $18. Cities VR, $24. Demio, 20% off, $30. What else here? Thumper Roots. Thumper's $8 right now.
that's crazy. And I can't believe you use this article, Wes. It's got Super Hot VR. You tell people don't buy it, and then you link to
Don't
it
buy Super
with a
Hot.
$10 price tag. Holy shit.
Try to blow over it, Roots, and you just blew my cover completely. People don't buy Super Hot VR.
Yeah, it's $10.
I mean,
it's
a VR classic. It's a great game. It holds up even today. It's fun to play. Don't buy it.
do you know if there's any haptics or any extra stuff with this version? I wonder.
Oh, that I think is the VR1 version. I don't think that there's an
I got you.
enhanced
It's
version
not
for
on.
PS.
Okay. It
Yeah,
says
some of these in this article are VR1 games.
they should.
Like Sniper Elite and Persistence. It talks about being 70% off those two games. That's nuts.
That is nuts. I'm not playing my PSVR 1's still sitting over there dusty. D needs to get into some Rush of Blood or Astrobot.
Put mine in the box, Roots. Packed it up with all its stuff.
Yeah. You gonna sell it? You're gonna keep it for old time's sake?
No. I'll never sell it. But not as long as there are exclusives on that platform that I'm not willing to walk away from. And there's still a lot of exclusives that are just there right now. So I'll never do that as long as that's the case.
What if they bring all the games over, but you can't play Farpoint with the aim controller?
That's a good point. So that's a good argument for why I'll never ever sell my PlayStation VR. And for what it's worth, I only boxed up the one that was in here. The other one that's in my daughter's room, it's still out and ready to pick up and go anytime I want to play it. It's just I didn't need all that shit hanging out all over my bedroom anymore, so I put it up.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff, Roots.
I bet.
Boxes and cameras and all that stuff. Move controllers.
Yeah, I got all that
put it
stuff
away,
all
man.
in a big pile over there.
We'll break it out in October. We'll
Yeah.
have a good excuse to break it out.
Well, I was playing some Switchback today, and I was thinking about Rush of Blood, you know. And I personally, the more Switchback I play, I don't know what people are smoking on. They say that Rush of Blood is better. I can see, like, in some ways creepier maybe, but I've only seen like a portion of the game, and there's so many environments, so many amazing things, and it just looks so good outside of the blurry cutscenes.
I agree.
It's just
Victim of its own hype. That's what happened with that when people expected it. We got so excited about this game coming out. People expected it to be like the best game of all time.
Yep, absolutely. D wants to know if she should play Farpoint.
D absolutely should play Farpoint. D would love Farpoint, Roots. I know
think
she
she would.
would. That's her type of shit.
Yeah, I think you would love it, D. Absolutely, hands down.
I mean, as long as she don't have like a thing for spiders. She's not one of these people who are just deathly afraid of spiders, are they? Is she?
Yeah, I don't think she's deathly afraid of them. Probably has a healthy fear of them. Mind Drive says on May 9th, the PlayStation Plus collection will no longer be offered. If you haven't redeemed the titles in this collection yet, you can do so until May 9th.
Good call, Mind Jive. Like I completely forgot all about that. It's absolutely true. The PlayStation Plus collection, which they implemented during, well, I don't want to say any trigger words, or it's that period of time where people weren't allowed to go outside that happened recently. You remember that?
Yeah, I call it bullshit.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a cool thing back then when that first kind of all came in to give away games so people would have shit to do while they were at home. And it was around that time that this PS5 PlayStation Plus collection was put together. But we're past that now, Roots. So it's time. No more free games. All right. last call for the free games, May 9th. Last time to get quite a collection. Then there are some VR games in this, if I'm not mistaken.
So you got to put it. They have to be on your hard drive, or you have to be in your library.
You know, you have to claim them. You go to the PlayStation Plus section on your console or on a PC or whatever you use to log in. Go to the PlayStation Plus stuff, and you should see the collection. After you claim the game and kind of purchase it for free, then it's in your library.
Okay.
And as long as your Plus subscription is active, that will remain a part of your library.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, I'll tell you what. There's definitely a lot of good games out there worth playing. So free is nice. That's why I love when I see that Wes has incorporated the killer deal segment. Free stuff.
Looper adds PS Plus collection, which includes Moss, Astro, Thumper, Rez, and what was it, Horizon Zero Dawn?
Oh, these are all garbage, dude. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, trash.
Yeah, trash.
Garbage down.
Like some of the best titles.
Can't give them away. Can't give them away. Roots.
Yeah, Bloodborne.
They're free.
Yeah, for real. Bloodborne. I was just reading an article about somebody saying they need to remaster Bloodborne, and I agree. And I was thinking I need to play that again. That's a good game.
So again, Roots, last chance to get
Last call for alcohol.
Your PS5 collection before they once again remind you that you're paying for the multiplayer, bro.
Yeah,
it's not the games.
you're slumming it with the multiplayer level tier. I was thinking about we need to go back into our Viveport tier and check it out and see what's out there.
I've been watching Viveport. I check it almost every week. Not a lot going on over there, man. I mean, there is if you've got their new headset. You know what I mean? They've updated their store. There's now standalone games on there and PCVR games, and it seems like there's not so much attention being paid to the PC end of it anymore. They're getting new games, but they're all like super indie stuff that you've never heard of.
I don't have a Pico 4. I don't have a Vive. I guess it'd be more the Vive.
Vive XR Elite. Yeah.
XR, yeah.
They are getting, what was it? They're about to get one other game that's on every other platform. The name escapes me. There's a new one getting ready to come over that's decent. So we'll talk about that when it happens, but it's on the coming soon thing now. So.
Okay.
I guess this is a good point to remind everyone to go, if you have PCVR, go get this Humble Bundle PCVR deal. 6 games here, Roots. Some of them great. Vertigo Remastered, Into the Radius, Zenith, Wanderer. $18 bundle here, Roots. It's kind of stupid that they're giving all these awesome games away for that.
Yeah, and some of those games on that list are worth $18 plus. Actually, most of those games are worth at least $18, and most of them are worth double. So,
yeah, excellent deal, and some must-play games in that. So, yeah, even if you don't have one or 2 of them, I mean, that makes the bundle worth it, and the rest of it's just kind of bonus stuff.
Yeah,
you got to play all these games. All right, it's Star Wars Day, Roots, coming up May the 4th. Isn't that clever?
Yeah. May the 4th be with you.
There you go. That's it.
You're going to see that all over Facebook. You're going to see it all over on the 4th of May. That's all you see, right?
And on the Quest Store, even right now, Roots, 5-day sale, Vader Immortal Collection for a very fair $15. Star Wars Pinball, Roots, $12.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, that's a good deal. 50% off for that pack if you love Star Wars. And the pinball, I think, is to me is better than the Vader Immortal pack. So I think that's both a good deal.
Yeah, agreed. Let's see. And I think that's free stuff and killer deals, Roots. Now we can get back on track, back to our regularly scheduled program. What's out this week? Ascent VR. This game's been around, Roots, for a while now in the land of App Lab and early access. But Ascent VR finally getting a launch on the official Quest Store, Roots. We've heard a lot about this game throughout development, right? People generally impressed with how they're implementing their hand tracking.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just saying that, everybody's trying to get the perfection down as far as hand tracking and making the right game. So super cool.
Here's the thing that surprised me about this game, because typically when we talk about this on the air or off the air, it always comes down to the same thing. And it's me saying I'd rather play with controllers. And it's not just this game, but any hand tracking game. That's what it always comes down to. And one of the cool things here, Roots, is that you can actually play this game with controllers. It isn't a game that they insist you can't use controllers. But the odd thing is, Roots, is that when you talk to people, some people are saying that they'd rather not use controllers with this, which I find interesting to say the least.
Just everything we just said about the PlayStation VR 2 and feeling muted without haptics would apply to any game I play with no hand controllers. That's my biggest gripe. Even if the tracking is 1-to-1 perfect and there's absolutely no glitches whatsoever, I'm going to miss the haptics. And so it's going to be hard for me to move away from that mindset. And it's going to take developers to do something really special to start to win over people like myself. Because I know there's a lot of people, we were just talking about this too. There's applications and there's a reason for, having hand tracking. And if you can make the right game and have the right mix between it, I think it can be amazing. So I'm kind of interested to see what this is going to be.
I wonder how you run, Roots. How do you think you run? Think it's comfortable?
I don't know.
It's probably teleport, right? It's probably teleport.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
Who
know.
needs to run, Roots? I don't need to do that.
Yeah, running is it's old hat.
I'll tell you what else, Roots. You know what your hands don't need? Your hands don't need no batteries, bro.
That's true. And
where's your controllers at now, huh?
That's right. I don't have to worry about it. Your controllers are now dead. Well, guess what? Oh my God, my hands are dead. That would be horrible. You had to plug your hands in. So
that'd be a nightmare, man. You're just playing VR, all of a sudden now your hands don't work anymore. It'd be terrible.
Well,
that'd be scary, Roots.
It would be.
Am I having a stroke?
It would be scary. Oh yeah, that's true. I guess it's happened to some people, right?
Yeah.
This is the thing with the PlayStation VR controllers that I don't like as far as the way that they charge, because you can plug them in. People say it all the time. Well, you can plug them into a battery. Well, if you let it go too low, you can't. Well, you can, and you got to wait. Like it'll tell you, I'm sorry, you cannot play VR because your controller is too low, and it just shuts it all down. And so, and you can't until it gets to a certain level, it will not start for you. And but that is what it is. Just don't let it get that low if you're going to plug it in. That's what I learned.
Arcanian in the chat confirms, yes, it is a teleport game. We laugh about it because we've had the conversation so many times before about so many other hand tracking games. For what it's worth, there has been a trend that this tech is getting better. Eolia is a good case in point, where we still preferred to use controllers, but it was a little bit of a conversation that time. Normally it's just like not even a conversation, but the hand tracking was done fairly well in Eolia, and I hear that it is in this game as well. For what it's worth, Ascent VR, Roots, does look cool. It looks like a cool game, very reminiscent of a game like Arcanade, which also recently hit the Quest Store. But that was a cool game, and this looks like it could be a cool game as well.
Yeah, I agree. And I also agree with Looper the Underground Gamecast says you can always play Thumper or GT7 in those moments. Just grab a gamepad game for 15 minutes. And actually, that's a perfect Thumper time frame, or a couple races, right? So I got this amazing wheel here from Lincoln Clay. Or Walkabout.
You play Walkabout, Roots. If one controller dies, you just grab the other one because you only need one.
But will it? I think it still tells you it's got a critical error or whatever. Like your controller is down, bro. Like it's not letting you do anything. Well, I guess technically, I maybe it might let you if you were able to get in there with the other controller and then grab that one and start it. Maybe. I don't know. Spry says his controller died last night playing Walkabout.
Right, that is true. His controller did that when he's playing Walkabout.
When does it come out for PlayStation VR 2? Is it soon? I know everybody's doing that.
I want to say May 11. Yeah, like 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, beta testing already well underway. And well, I guess I can't tell no tales out of school here, Roots, but I think everything's going to be all right. You know, they're launching on PSVR with a complete DLC pack with you get like 30% off if you just go ahead and buy everything right up front.
Oh,
it's like $35. It's like $35 for everything.
Talk about worth it, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because that game is like with the base set is amazing, but you add all these really cool courses, it just gets phenomenal.
Really, what you're paying for, though, honestly, if you have a lot of friends that play this game, not everyone has to have a DLC to play. Like, as long as one person has it, the host has it, everyone can play it. What they're paying for, Roots, is so that they can go looking for balls. And that might sound like a silly thing to a person who hasn't played this game, but believe you me, Roots, these people are into looking for these balls. They spend just as much time thinking about that as making their shots.
That's crazy. And like Brian Paul has can't get over how cool his golf club was. And I was like, man, that's a cool golf club. Well, you get that from searching around and doing all the extra stuff, right? So I have my normal. Yeah. I don't think I've unlocked anything. No balls, no golf clubs.
VR Spry Guy says, Wes plays with white balls. You know who else plays with white balls, Roots?
My mom!
She doesn't limit the color, man. She just plays with balls in general, but that is one of them. That's one of them, for sure.
You know, when I started talking about Walkabout, I knew the My Mom joke was going to come up. I just couldn't quite tell where it was going to come from, and VR Spry Guy coming through with it. Yeah. He's telling the truth, though. He's telling the truth. I play with the black club and a white ball, Roots. It's golf. That's how it's supposed to be played.
That's true. What if someone else grabs the white ball before you get a chance to do it?
Then I get whatever it was I had yesterday. They told me that there was something
similar
else on there when we played the second game yesterday. Yeah.
I think I usually play with the B-striped one. I can't remember. It's been a while.
Black club, white ball. That's what we do, Roots.
Yeah. Well, you got to go with tradition, right?
That's right. Conservative, Roots. I don't like colors. I only like black and white. I don't see color, Roots.
Yeah, what was that movie with Reese Witherspoon back in the day? And it was all black and white. Then it became color.
I don't remember.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Anyway, that's not all that's out this week. Another game that actually came up in conversation pretty recently, launching out this week as well.
You made it, though I thought you would need a little less time to do it.
More and more zombies are hanging around the camp.
Survival Nation also launches this week, Roots, onto Quest and I think maybe even PCVR. I'm not sure. Open world RPG, Roots, survival with zombies. I don't know what to think about this game. It's like I like the concept. I could see the potential in it. It seems like an ambitious concept for a relatively new developer. So I don't know what to think. Some people are looking forward to this. Roots, are you?
I don't know. Radio Run says it looks really bad. My thing is the concept looks cool. I was telling you about that one game that a lot of people, streamers, play where it's got multiplayer, Rust-like aspects on top of it with everything else. I see where this could be really cool, and I also agree where I could see where this could be bad, like Radio Runt says. But only time will tell. I guess this is coming out next week, right? So,
yeah, it could be cool. Could be cool. It's possible that it's cool.
Yeah, it has the potential.
I don't know. Some games you can tell that's cool. This is like, it might be cool. It could be cool. I like the concept, Roots. Open world, that's something you don't hear in the description line of most VR games today. So that alone, you've got my attention, right?
Yeah, open world, survivor, RPG. My thing is I'm not a big survival fan anyway. Unless I was the actual show Survivor, then I'd get to meet Jeff Probst. But I like more of a story to my it looks like maybe you got a story. There was a photo you found, right? Was it like, I don't know what that photo was all about, but
I don't know, man. I know I like the idea of a survival game set in like a zombie apocalypse. I like that idea. I'm not sure that that's what this is. This looks like a survival game, like a non-zombie survival game with zombies just kind of
tacked in,
put into it. Yeah,
they're just like wandering around.
I think that's what my worry is with it, because I think it could be cool. I mean, it really could be cool if it's well done. But I mean, it will be cool because of all those other things that we talked about, the open worldness, survival aspect of it. That could be good.
My biggest problem. Well, my biggest problem with most zombie games is I want the back for blood zombies. I want the zombies that, are running, that the slow moving zombies in any game anymore to me is just like, no, dude, like it's just too slow paced. I want that thing to be running at me like Resident Evil 8. And I'm like, oh shit, I need to get the hell out of here. A little bit more action. Yeah. Or Zombieland, or what was that one movie where it was in the mall? The Dawn of the Dead. That one was like one of the first ones that I watched where I was like, oh my God, like the zombies from the very beginning just was so crazy. How they moved and just how fast they were. It was just another level of creepiness and scariness to zombies. So,
it's those kind of zombies came along a little bit later. They typically, those will be the kind of like outbreak zombies, or where they kind of tie in some kind of biochemical thing for it. It's really the older idea of what zombies are, kind of risen from the dead, brainless, mindless, zombies. Those are the ones that are slow. Typically those are the ones that we call zombies, and then the other ones are kind of like zombie-like creatures that will rip your face off. They done made the zombies like vampires.
Yeah, that's right. Looper the Underground Gamecat says Roots will love that The Last of Us Infected. Well, I'll tell you what, I need to get back into The Last of Us. I'm about 5 hours in. I was thinking about maybe reshading it and seeing how good it looks or whatever. So
Arcanian says 28 days, Roots.
Oh my God. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Those are the same type of zombies, right? The fast-paced, crazy, and that was an infection as well, right?
Have you seen Train to Busan?
I have not.
That's another good one. It's a Korean movie. You have to get the dubs on it to make out what the dialogue is, but it's an awesome movie, and there are lots of these kind of running zombies that you like in that movie.
Yeah, that's scarier to me. Although I think the scenario Rick found himself when he had to get in the tank would probably be the scariest, right? Like, in numbers, mass numbers, that's when the slow walkers get crazy.
It's funny that you mentioned Rick Roots, because I think a lot of this Survival Nation game, graphically in terms of UI, reminds me of The Walking Dead Onslaught.
Oh, really? Do you think it has a red mist? Probably not. They probably, developers learned the lesson across the land not to follow the likes of that.
Walker's got me.
Yeah, Walker's got me. I need to go back in there and finish it. I knew I would never finish it, but I keep saying that.
Question, Roots. What if I don't want to buy Survival Nation this week, but I do want to blow the faces off some zombies? Is there any other direction I might go?
It's so strange. It's never that quiet here usually.
It's even a little too quiet, if you want my opinion.
Hello? My name is Ashley Diaz. I'm at the Paradise Hotel. I'll be waiting for you on the roof. Please, hurry.
My sister is alive, Owen.
We should stay together. Are you ready? Can we go now?
Okay, let's go.
Looks like the elevators are dead. Let's take the stairs.
Oh my god. To find Ashley before this monster finds her. Ashley, I'm coming.
Propagation Paradise Hotel out this Thursday, Roots. Oculus Quest and Steam coming to PlayStation VR at a later date. I'm looking forward to this, man. They've been kind of upfront about what the game is. It's a brief little story campaign set in their world of Propagation, which, by the way, if the original Propagation is any indication, visually stunning, very super immersive zombie filled world.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be like the free demo or whatever you want to call it, whatever it was, right? That was to let everybody know, okay, we know what we're doing, so when we do release the game, you're going to buy it, and I think you should. It was really good, and Thomas McNostril says, "Meh, I've stayed in worse places." Well, yeah, I'll tell you what, if you've been to 2023 San Francisco, you probably have, but yeah, definitely a crazy place, right?
Yeah, I've for what it's worth, Roots, I've stayed in much worse places than this. Like, this looks pretty good. I got stranded in Cincinnati one time, man.
Oh god.
They towed our car when we were still just kids, and we're stuck there with no money and nothing, and it was
sketch, right?
A pretty rough place. We stayed at a pretty rough place that night, I'll tell you.
Well, you got to stay where you can. Lock the door. Don't open it. It doesn't matter who's knocking. That's what's crazy about those sketchy hotels or whatever. It's not necessarily the place per se or the area. It's just the things that go on through the night. Like literally somebody might be trying to get in your door. Maybe it's the wrong door. They're drunk. Who knows? I don't know. Heard somebody arguing outside of a Disney hotel one time, or it was in Orlando. The wife was yelling at the husband because he had spent all their Disney money. Or I don't know, can't remember how he spent it, but that was a good conversation over here. It was good hotels.
So when I look at this place, Roots, it just looks fun. Looks like there's a bunch of zombies here. We're going to have weapons to blow their faces off, just like the original Propagation. Although they're going to tell us a story while we're doing it this time, which I can appreciate, Roots.
Yeah. Is it co-op? No, it's not co-op, right?
No.
Okay.
No. They're let's see what's coming. That's co-op. The Exorcist Legion VR, the sequel to that, is going to be co-op.
Oh wow.
This is not.
What do you think about the mature 17 plus blood and gore, intense violence, and strong language warning? Is that going to keep you from playing it?
I'm kidding. For it. I'm for all of it.
Yeah, that's good. You passed the test.
I didn't know I was going to get it until you said that, Roots. Now
it's good. Yeah, you got to have some kind of it's a horror game, man. You need a warning, right? Oh,
Anyway,
there's Mepper. Mepper just got
what's
here.
up, Mepper? What's up, bro? Thanks for joining us. Thursday Roots. We've been waiting on this one for a while. I'm excited to get in there and check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, that's what's out this week. Some cool stuff to check out. You guys let us know what you think about these games. Which ones you want to see us cover. Leave a comment down below and we'll check it out. It's time, once again, Roots, for the second number 2 on my notes. Apparently, we did 2 number 2s this week. So we still just have 3 sections, even though there's 4 of them there. It's time for the Wishlist, Roots. It's time for us to do our weekly duty and support the developers that have worked and toiled away for years to bring us these sometimes awesome games. What do you think, Roots? I would bet that we a lot of the stuff that we've already talked about today is in our library or already favorited. So a little bit of a limited menu this week.
Yeah, very much so, right? Because I think everything. The only thing I see on here that is not is No More Rainbows.
I think you just called it, bro. I think that's what we're going to wish list this week. No More Rainbows.
Yeah, that's it. Let's see.
You guys be sure to let us know what you did you wish list No More Rainbows? They leave a comment down below and let us know. And if not, I want 500 words on why.
Yeah, tomorrow. I'm just kidding. Hey, somebody wants to get the Revero has already wish listed it.
Revero's faster than me right now, bro.
Yep. Michelle B said she did Firmament. It's a good choice. That's coming out soon as well.
Yeah, I think just within 3 weeks, 3 to 3.5 weeks, I think, on that one.
All right. Now, question for you is: we just said the magic F word. Was Scion going to show up all of a sudden and be saying Firmament? Somebody say Firmament?
Yeah, we have awoken Scion.
Yeah.
His appearance looms shortly.
Looper said he did Propagation on PSN.
Oh yeah, that's right. There is a wish list up on PSVR 2 store for this game, so probably not have to wait too long on it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Chris? Is this one worth waiting on? Like for advanced haptics and adaptive triggers and all the stuff you assume that's going to be in the PSVR 2 version, is it worth waiting on?
Yeah, pretty much any shooting game if they utilize the hardware, right? I mean, that's the key. You know, if you're going to give me a straight port, then there's no reason really to. I'm sure it'll look amazing. It looks amazing on PC. Oh, well, let's put it this way, the demo or the free demo that we played looked amazing. So if this is like that, then yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to playing it. I don't know if I have the willpower to wait. I think I'll be playing it.
Play it twice. Yeah. Play it so you can play it. You can talk about the differences. Spry Guy says Scion wanted to play Grip sometime. I think we need to get back into some Grip, right?
I was thinking about Grip earlier today and how cool it would be if they were to bring that over to PlayStation VR.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I need to.
Because it's not just the race mode, Roots. I mean, there's that battle mode, too, that's kind of like something that we don't have a whole lot of in VR, is like vehicle battle games, you know?
Is that one game? Do you know if Grip is, or maybe Spry Guy would know if you can use your wheel on that one on that or not?
On PC,
or on PC, because I mean I didn't have a wheel before, but it'd be nice.
I heard that this is coming from my memory, so it could be completely wrong. I think I remember someone telling me that you can use it on Grip, but you have to go through some extra bullshit to make it work.
Well,
that seems to be my recollection on
that sums up PCVR for you, or a PC with your wheel in general. Like, what kind of bullshit are you willing to go through? And Derail says he listed
my mom.
Oh yeah, she loves when you do that. Everybody wish list her. She needs her profile boosted. That's true. Yeah.
I'm thinking like the majority of people.
Like it's like 95% at least.
Right. At least. That brings us to our final reminder this week and every week, how you can do your support to support us, our channel, our community, our awesome little bubble that we live in over here. Obviously, the most important thing for you to do is subscribe. Roots, 20, we're right around 2950 now. We've put on like 50 people since Wednesday, trying to hit that 3K mark.
Holy crap! What
Yeah,
is happening?
yeah.
That's crazy.
We're about to go over the finish line. So if you haven't subscribed yet, if you like what we're doing here, why not? Why not just click the button, Roots? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's worth it. You want to be notified. You want to be part of the, I don't know, the best part of it to me is in this kind of a show is being here live. I mean, it's great to watch the after. You want to be here for the chat, right? The community, you guys are the best part of it. So,
yeah. And if you're someone who's here live week after week and you want to do something extra, well, you can do so by supporting us on Patreon for less than $1 per week. You get access to our weekly show notes, insider updates, exclusive content, $3, Roots. I mean, we talk about Humble Bundle being a great deal. I mean, I can think of one charity case that's a little bit better of a deal.
yeah.
It's right here.
Yeah, this is it for sure. we use it for sure. Everything goes back into the show, and we appreciate you. And like Bluebell said earlier at the beginning of the show, Wes does amazing notes as far as the for the show, all the scraps, all the cutting room floor.
That's one of the things I've been most consistent with. Now, obviously, with the exclusive content, we get it in where we can, but the notes come every week, Roots, and it's a good way to keep up with what's going on without having to check like, 5-10 different sources every day just to stay current. This is a once a week list of everything that I think is interesting that I look and see as I'm doing my research for the show every week. So there's a lot of stuff in there that we just don't have time to talk about. We just kind of pick the things that interest us, but there's so much more going on down there on the cutting room floor. So thank you, Bluebell, for the compliment, and I'm glad someone really gets some utilization out of that stuff, man. That's a lot of information in one spot.
Dead Ringers has been subscribed for a long time. Just hit the bell tonight. And Eric says, you know who else likes to get it in where she can?
My mom!
Yeah, she does.
Oh, good call, Eric. Bluebell with the $9.99 donation. Thanks for all you guys do. Well, thank you for your awesome compliments and support. You're awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, we're about to cross that 3K line. You could be the one that makes it happen. So, click the button.
Well, Spry wants to know, are we going to have a party? Hell yeah, we're going to have a party, a 3K party. Oprah's going to be there, I'm sure. We'll see. We'll see what happens, right?
We may or may not have a 3K party. What we will have, Roots, is an episode 200 party.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's right around the corner, right?
That's not as far off as it might seem. It's pretty close, actually.
Yeah, 15 episodes. It's about, 4 months? A little bit less than 4 months, depending on
something like that.
What happens.
Yeah. So, plenty to celebrate around here lately, hey?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway,
Discord.
What else we got? Discord. Good call. Thank you, Roots.
Yep.
If you don't have any money and you want to hang out, we don't hang out on Patreon anyway. We hang out on Discord 24/7, 365. We are all lurking, waiting for the next police chase to pop off, Roots.
Yeah, I'm waiting as well. And Ryan Brandon, I have words for you. I know you're still out there. You should be. Either that or he's in Breachers. When you tag for the police chase, tag us as well. Because nobody goes in there. We all find out after the fact. We miss it, bro. We got to watch it live together.
That's right. It's cool to watch the replays anyway on this stuff, but it's not the same as catching it live, right, man?
No, yeah. You can make commentary, talk about how bad the guy is, or sometimes they're good. And I'm always have this weird thing, Wes, where I'm rooting for them to get away. I don't know if that's just me or I'm weird, but that guy's
the same way, Roots.
Yeah, he's had a hard life. He doesn't.
We have to presume. We have to presume that they're innocent until they're proven guilty, Roots. Just because they've got some cops after them doesn't mean that they've actually done anything wrong.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. It's not unheard of. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, I think that's our show this week, people. So thanks for showing up. With that said, for Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you next week. this week. We'll see you Wednesday. Bye.
Take it easy.